Hello everyone. It's such a joy and privilege to meet you all again. In today's lecture, I'm going to talk about a skill, or rather, an incredible habit, that is absolutely essential for anyone in business. Without this habit, it's extremely difficult to grow and succeed. That habit is reading books. You see, in life, there are really only two ways to learn. The first is through direct experience, learning from the people we meet, the things we see, and the environments we interact with daily. Of course, that's the best way to learn. But it comes with a limitation. It's confined by time and space. You can only learn from what you directly encounter, what your hands touch, your eyes see, or your ears hear, within a very narrow scope around you. It's incredibly hard to learn beyond that limited space. That's where books come in. Books allow us to learn across time and space, solving the limitations of direct experience. If you don't read, you'd be hard-pressed to understand how world-renowned companies like Toyota, Microsoft, or Google operate. Without reading, how could you possibly know? You'd never have the chance to learn directly from the masterpieces written by business giants like Warren Buffett, Peter Drucker, or Philip Kotler. These are people who've shaped economies, business practices, and management knowledge for countless CEOs and directors worldwide. They share their wisdom through books, because let's face it, you're unlikely to ever meet these great minds in person. If you don't read their books, you're missing out on their knowledge. That's why the habit of reading is so critical. The greatest lessons are often learned through books. It's a real shame for anyone in business who doesn't read, because without it, you'll always lag behind, unable to keep up with the times. That's why, today, I'm sharing 7 steps to develop the skill of reading effectively. These are 7 comprehensive steps that I've applied in my own life. As always, I never teach a skill I haven't mastered myself. Teaching something you haven't done is utterly ridiculous. That's one of my core principles as an educator. I never teach anything I haven't accomplished myself. Because of that, this lecture will carry my personal perspective, based on what has worked for me, what I've experienced firsthand. As usual, I'm the guinea pig, and I've succeeded with the methods I'm sharing with you today. My hope is that, through my insights, you'll develop better reading skills, and a genuine love for books. People who read consistently progress quickly. Let's not waste any more time. Here are the 7 steps to read effectively. Step 1. Know what you need to read. The first step happens before you even open a book. You must know what you need to learn so you can choose the right book. Many people read randomly. They go to a bookstore or browse online, see a bestseller or a heavily promoted book, and buy it on impulse. The result? They often bring it home and never read it. Why? Because they skipped the crucial first step of the reading process, knowing what they need to read. For me, I choose books based on 2 criteria. First, I read what I'm most passionate about. Related to my work, of course, not entertainment. Reading a joke book might be fun, but it won't advance your career. In this video, I'm focusing on books that elevate your professional life, not just entertain you. For example, if I love sales, I'll seek out books on selling. If I'm passionate about writing, I'll find books that teach writing. That's the first criterion, read what you love most. But what if you don't know what you're passionate about? Then I suggest the second criterion. Read about what you're worst at, but know you need to improve. For instance, if you're terrible at communication, if you come across as awkward or out of place when talking to strangers, and you realize that without improving this skill, you can't advance in your career, then choose books on communication. To sum it up, the first step is to know what you need to read and choose books accordingly. Use these 2 criteria. Read what you're most passionate about, or 2, read what you're weakest at, but know is essential. That's step 1. Step 2, choose and buy the right books. Now that you've identified the topic you want to read about, where do you find and buy the books? With the subject in mind from step 1, you can browse online bookstores. In Vietnam, you can check out platforms like Tiki, Vinabook, or Phahasa. Whatever works for you. Let me demonstrate using Tiki as an example. Say I'm focusing on the area I'm weakest at, which I know is critical, like communication. I go to the bookstore's website, type communication into the search bar, and hit enter. Once the results come up, scroll through and select books with at least a 4-star rating. Why do this? It's simple. This filters out low-quality books that others have criticized. You want books that have been vetted and praised by many readers. For example, here's a book with 39 reviews and nearly 5 stars, pretty good. Scroll down, click on a book, and read its description to see if it truly fits your needs. Let's say I pick this one. The Art of Communication for Success, with 4.5 stars and 38 reviews. That's solid. You can confidently buy this book to read. It meets the criteria. It's in the field you need, and it's highly rated, so it's likely to be good. But what if the book is out of stock on that website? You can visit physical bookstores, check secondhand bookshops, or try another online trick. Copy the book's title, go to a comparison site like webzosan.vn, paste the title, and search. You'll see the book's cover, familiar, right? Click on it, and it'll show you other places where the book is still in stock. That way, you can buy the book you want and start reading. That's step 2. Step 3, skim the book. Once you've bought the book, it's time to start reading. But the question is, what do you read first? Do you read from cover to cover? That can get boring fast. Do you read from the back to the front? Or jump around from the middle? Let me share a method I use, which I call skimming. Skimming means treating the book like a dictionary. Open the table of contents and find the chapters that resonate most with you, are most relevant to your needs, or feel the most compelling. Read those first. Think of the book as a tool to address the gaps in your life. If you're lacking in a certain skill, check the table of contents and prioritize the chapters that tackle that weakness. Let me demonstrate with the book we just picked, The Art of Communication for Success. Note that I chose this book randomly, not to promote any bookstore or specific title. I even picked an out-of-stock book on purpose, to avoid any misunderstanding that I'm advertising. Let's say I'm terrible at communication, feel awkward in conversations, and want to improve through this book. I'll skim the table of contents to find the most relevant chapters. Here's the introduction. Okay, I'll read that. Chapter 1, Nonverbal Communication. Not sure what that means, so I'll skip it. Chapter 2, Conversation Starters. This is what I need. I notice that in meetings or social settings, I'm shy and feel like a lump, so learning how to start conversations could make a difference. I'll underline this chapter to read first. Chapter 3, Powerful Communication. Sounds vague, I'll pass. Chapter 4, How to be an Insider. This is great. I often feel left out in conversations, like I can't connect or fit in with others. It's lonely sitting at a table of 10 or 11 people, staying silent because I'm afraid to speak. This chapter could help, so I'll underline it too. Chapter 5, Creating Rapport. Not sure, I'll skip. Chapter 6, The Power of Compliments Without Flattery. Not a priority. Chapter 7, Connecting to the Heart. I'll pass. Chapter 8, Networking Like a Politician. Sounds interesting, but I'll skip for now. Chapter 9, Overcoming the Biggest Barriers. Maybe later. So, by skimming like a dictionary, I've chosen 2 chapters. Chapter 2, Conversation Starters, and Chapter 4, How to be an Insider. These are the most relevant to my needs. I'll also read the introduction, to grasp the book's main focus and the author's intent. So, I'll prioritize these 3 sections, the introduction, Chapter 2, and Chapter 4. When skimming, read at your current pace, don't rush. I see too many young people chasing speed reading trends. Let me be honest. I'd bet that most speed readers, when asked what they just read, can't recall much at all. What's the point of reading fast if you don't retain anything? Prioritize quality over quantity. Don't worry about how many books you read. Focus on understanding. If you're a slow reader, that's fine. Read slowly. I'd rather you read one book thoroughly than skim 30 books and barely remember anything. Also, read physical books, not e-books. Why? With a physical book, you can hold a pen, underline key points, and interact directly with the text, which is much more effective. E-books make it harder to focus. That's step 3, skim the book. Step 4, recall. After reading the chapters you found most important, relevant, or compelling, it's time for step 4, recall. Ask yourself, what did I just read? This ensures you actually retain what you've read. There are 3 levels of retention when reading. If you read casually, you won't remember much, it's fleeting. If you reread, or review, you'll recall a bit more, but it's still not enough. The method I want you to use is recall. After reading those key chapters, close the book, don't peek, and force yourself to remember what you just read. Spend 15 minutes recalling. What did I read? What were the main points? Right after reading, you'll still remember. But this recall step helps cement the knowledge in your mind. If you skip it, you'll forget everything, and all your effort will be wasted. By the next day or week, it'll be gone. Recalling is critical. By forcing yourself to remember, you anchor the foundational knowledge, the parts of the book you found most useful or interesting. This foundation helps you connect to other parts of the book, without getting lost. A new book in an unfamiliar field can feel overwhelming, with concepts that seem too advanced. Without a solid foundation, you can't reach those higher-level insights. The recall step builds a stepping stone from the most relevant knowledge to the rest of the book. This is one of the most crucial steps. Without it, you'll forget everything within a month and won't be able to apply anything. Step 5. Read thoroughly. With the foundational knowledge from the recall step, you're now ready for Step 5. Read the entire book. You've built a base, so you won't get lost or confused. Read from cover to cover, slowly and enjoyably. Underline key points. If something's unclear, note beside it, "I don't understand this." Write in pen, not pencil. Don't worry about dirtying the book. The only thing to fear is an empty mind that retains nothing. If you think the author got something wrong, write it down. For example, if you're reading a book on stress relief, and the author suggests going to the gym, but you disagree, note it. "This doesn't work for me. I'm a long-haul bus driver, sitting for hours. No time for the gym. I'll keep reading to see what else they suggest." That's how I read and annotate books. Questioning, challenging, and engaging with the author. Don't blindly accept everything. Read critically, question what seems off, and don't assume every book is 100% correct. Read slowly, with enthusiasm, and enjoy the process. Don't rush to read quickly just to finish. What's the point if you forget it all? I'd rather you take 2 weeks to read one book thoroughly than rush through it. Speed doesn't matter, comprehension does. That's Step 5, read thoroughly. Step 6, reread. Step 6 is rereading, and it's nearly as important as the recall step. After finishing the book the first time, I strongly recommend rereading it. This time, read it fully again, including the author's text, your underlines, notes, and counterarguments. Now, you're reading with prior understanding, not as a blank slate like the first time. Don't skip this step, or you'll forget the book quickly. The first read gives you a basic grasp. Rereading solidifies it, especially when combined with the recall step's foundation. Each time you reread, you'll gain new insights and feel your mind expanding. That's what makes reading exciting and rewarding. Don't just read for the sake of reading, read for quality. I follow this exact approach with my love for books. Step 7. Apply. After completing the 6 steps, are we done? Not yet. There's one final step, without which all the previous effort is meaningless. Apply what you've learned. All the knowledge, wisdom, and brilliance you've absorbed is useless if you don't put it into action. After finishing the book, ask yourself, what do I need to do to apply what I've learned? In simple terms, what should I do next after reading this book? This step is easy once you've deeply engaged with the book. You'll naturally find something compelling to act on. For example, when I read Delivering Happiness by Tony C., the CEO of Zappos, the world's largest shoe company, there was a chapter on creating joy for employees. After reading it, I immediately reviewed the workload and salary structure at Web of Truth. Inspired by the book, I made a decision. Reduce workloads and increase salaries by 5%. To ease pressure and foster creativity. The book explained how excessive pressure can stifle creativity. By caring about employees' happiness, reducing their workload and slightly boosting their pay, you create space for them to relax and innovate. That decision proved absolutely correct. My team worked with a completely different mindset, producing higher quality work despite less volume. Without reading that book, I wouldn't have known to do this. Another example. I read The Enzyme Factor, a book about healthy living. It discusses how to eat, exercise, and think to maintain the body's enzyme levels, which keep us healthy. When enzymes deplete, our health declines. The author provides guidance on eating, moving, and thinking to preserve and boost enzymes. After reading it, the very next day, I went to the supermarket, bought vegetables, and overhauled my diet. I've followed that approach ever since, and it's been years now. Reading without action is pointless. After finishing a book, pick one key takeaway you find most valuable and act on it. That's how you truly elevate yourself. Otherwise, all your effort is wasted. This is why so many bookworms remain ineffective. They stop at Step 6 and never apply what they've learned. They're just theorists, reading to impress others but achieving nothing substantial. The 6 steps are meaningless without action. I've shared my method for reading effectively, and I hope these 7 steps transform your life. That's my greatest wish for you. When you know more, almost every problem in life becomes solvable. Your life will have fewer dead ends, your finances will grow, and your joy will multiply. Thank you so much, and see you next time.